إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل له فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم. أما بعد فإن كالحديث كتاب الله وكالهدى هدى محمد وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل بدعة ضلالة. The praise is certainly due to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We praise Him, we seek His help, for He can help. We turn to Him in repentance and we seek Him out for forgiveness. We seek refuge in Him with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the evil of ourselves and the evil of our deeds. Whomsoever Allah guides, no one can misguide them. And whomsoever Allah leads to be left astray, no one can guide them. And I openly bear witness that none deserves to be worshipped except Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone without partners. And I openly bear witness that Muhammad ibn Abdullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is a slave servant and messenger. And as for what comes after, the best speech is the book of Allah tabaraka wa ta'ala, and the finest guidance is the guidance of Muhammad alayhi salatu salam. And the worst of all affairs are newly invented matters in our religion, and every newly invented matter is a misguidance. It leads people astray, and they find themselves a home in hellfire. I greet you, my brothers and sisters, in the greetings of peace. Assalamu alaikum. May the peace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be upon you. Today's talk is about taking charge of five. There's a beautiful hadith that relates that the Prophet ﷺ said, take benefit of five before five. What's that? That's exactly how it went. Nobody tried to add anything to it because it went just like that. He said, take benefit of five before five. Benefit of five before five. Your youth before your old age. Your health before your sickness. Your wealth before your poverty. Your free time before your preoccupation. And your life before your death. And it was related that this is an authentic hadith. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has been blessed with Jawami al-Kalim, which is the most concise or precise speech. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I have been blessed with concise speech. Therefore, when we look at the precious pearls that came out of the Prophet's mouth, sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we find that many of his ahadith are in fact treasure chests of wisdom. Think about that. Just look at a treasure chest. A treasure chest of wisdom. Yes. The words, they might be small, but the meaning behind them are great. The speech might be succinct, but the benefits and the blessings that can be derived from them are innumerable. Now you think about that for a minute, because sometimes you have people, they just talk to talk. And you have some people who speak when they really have something to say. Well, you know that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam had something to say, but it was concise, short words that meant so much. So he didn't put a lot of fat on it. He just gave the words up. Take charge of five before five. That means take advantage of, make the most of, take care of, take the benefit. So, and of the hadith, many hadith of Jawami, or the ones that are of a comprehensive nature, is the hadith of Ibn Abbas, reported in the Mustadrak of Al-Hakim, Musnad, Imam Ahmed, and others, with an authentic chain of narration, and I said it already. Take advantage of five matters before five other matters. Your youth, the shabab, that's what that means, shabab. Take charge of your youth, right? The first word, igtanan, Iktanam, comes from the same root that signifies sheep, ganam. Sheep in Arabic means ganam or iktanam, is from the same root that also signifies that this is a sheep. What's he saying by using this? And this is what I love about Arabic. It's always deeply rooted in something that's physical, so you can really come away with a good understanding of it. So what exactly is the meaning of iktanam? Iktanam is used to indicate any good that can be obtained without much effort. Any good that can be obtained without much effort, just like sheep. Now think about the sheep. They can easily be caught if they go astray, right? This is why the war booty that is found on the battlefield, I gotta say it again, B-O-O-T-Y, the war booty that has been found on the battlefield after the army has fled is called ghanima. Ghanima. It is easy to take, right? Nobody there to take it, nobody there to guard it. It's easy to take, just like the sheep. You can grasp it without much effort. Ghanima, iktanam, and ganam are all from the same root. So we're still talking about these 5 things, right? So it is as if the Prophet ﷺ is pointing out that these 5 matters, they're easy to obtain. Easy to obtain. They are easy to prey on, to catch, and very simple to benefit from. And that is because they are treasures that everyone possesses, but a few people appreciate. Think about it for a minute. You know, we have 5 senses. The sense of speaking, or the sense of touch, sense of sight, hearing, speech, right? What did I miss? 5, tongue, right? But who really appreciates it? We have these things. Now, I was reading about one of the imams, and he was saying how he was walking by this brother, I believe it was in Damascus, and the brother was laying on the side of the road, didn't have any legs, and he didn't have any arms. And he was praising Allah. He was thanking Allah. So the brother went back to him and he said, excuse me, but you're laying here, you can't even move because you don't have any legs and you don't have any arms, but yet you're praising Allah. And you know what he said? I have a heart that remembers him and a tongue that praises him. And that's why I show him thanks. You think about that for a minute, huh? We are always complaining, and we're not really using what Allah has given us. There was another brother, and this other brother, he was told that he was complaining because of his poverty. And the brother asked, he said, do you have eyes to see? He said, yes. Would you give them to anyone? He said, no. He said, do you have hands? He said, yes. Would you give them to anyone? Would you sell it to them? No. He said, of course not. Hearing, same thing, right? Sight, all these things, he said he wouldn't do it. So he said, you have all this treasure, and you complaining about poverty? See, it's something to think about. All right, so we have to take advantage of 5 matters before 5 others. Youth before old age. You know, we all have our youth. And sometimes we get caught up in youthful indiscretions. That's what I call it. And I've had my share. And sometimes we allow for the youthful indiscretions to take over our lives until we're old and we still doing the same things, showing no responsibility at all. So it's saying you have youth, which means you have energy, you're energetic, you're full of life. Use it for something constructive. Be responsible. When you're young, you're not as responsible. You may do foolhardy things because you're not so responsible. But we are calling you to be responsible before there comes a time when you can't be responsible. which means that maybe now somebody has to take care of you when you had all this energy and you didn't do anything with it. Think about it for a minute. What is your legacy going to be? I think about it all the time. What are they going to say about you? I remember, I forget exactly what it was, but I believe that, I remember now. It was a situation with the brother who died in the airplane crash or helicopter crash with his daughter.
Oh, Kobe,
yeah. And his wife began to talk about him. And while I was listening to her talk about him, I said, wow, you see all those things, or you hear all those beautiful things she's saying about her husband? And so I said, what is somebody going to say about me when I die? You should think about it too. Are you going to leave a legacy? Or are you just going to leave a whole truck full of debt, bills and stuff? Or be a situation where people say, I'm really happy he's gone because he didn't do a thing while he was on the earth. Think about it for a minute. So while you're young, you have energy, you should begin to do something and not just lay around and not do anything or play. Play and not be serious. Now sometimes people say, well, you're too serious. So you're right, you gotta have a balance. You gotta have balance. You gotta be serious, you gotta have a little humor, you have to have, just loosen up a little bit and not always be so tight. But there's a time and a place for everything. So when you're young, you have all this energy, so you should utilize it. Okay? And then it goes on to say, your health before you fall sick. Again, this is something that we take for granted. I wasn't always diabetic, but I remember, man, I used to eat up everything. I could eat a lemon meringue pie and have nobody to help me. Used to love lemon meringue pie. So I ate all these different things until one day I found out that I was diabetic. Well, I did it to myself. Now, probably I had a propensity for it, and I didn't help myself by eating all of those things that caused me to go right into it. So you have health, and you should utilize the health before it comes a time when you can't do anything, you fall sick, and now people have to take care of you. Right? Yeah. Health is so important. Eating right. We used to say how to eat to live. And the whole idea is not living to eat. We need to eat because we need to nourish our bodies and we need to grow. But sometimes we just eat to eat. That's right, we do. I could remember years ago, if me and a friend would go and buy something, same thing. He'd eat up all his and then ask me for some of mine. That was greed. So a lot of times people just eat because they're greedy. And so because they're just greedy, then the pounds start adding up on it. So here the Prophet ﷺ is telling us when we have the health, we should be able to do the things that we need to do. So that we don't come into a situation where now we got to have somebody taking care of us because we can't take care of ourselves. Our limbs get cut off. And now we got to have somebody to take care of us. Boy, I never forget the time when I got hit by a car. Now that's not me not looking out for my health. I got hit by a car. Okay? So I'm laid out there. And I never forget, when you're in the hospital, they don't even want you to leave there until you can have a movement. Right?
That's right.
And so I remember one time my wife was there, which was good because that's my wife. But it was one time when she wasn't there. And I had to have her. And I had to have the nurse come in and clean it up. Oh, I felt so embarrassed. Again, when you're in a situation where now somebody has to take care of you because you didn't take care of yourself, that's a problem. So again, your youth before you get old, your health before you fall sick, your wealth before you become poor. Your wealth. You have money, it's important that you actually make the money that you have purified. You're getting halal money, no haram money. We're not dealing with no haram money, no unlawful money. We're not going to get our money by unlawful means. We only get our money by lawful means. But you have some money, you should always give some money in charity. Always give some money in charity. Give, 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 give. I never forget, I saw the, oh my God, what was the name of this movie? I can't think of the name of it, but this young man, a Caucasian guy, was living with a black family. And then he decided as he got older to go out and venture for himself. And when he went out there, he fixed somebody's glasses, and then they took that idea and made a lot of money off of it. And then what happened was it caused people's eyes to become messed up. And so they started suing. And they were suing them for everything that they had. And then he found out, after they sued him, he had no more money. One of the things that he did all the time when he was making the money was send money back to his family. Send money back to his family. Send money back to his family. So when he was sued for everything, he was still able to go back to his family because his family had money that he had given them. It's always good to give. When you give, you feel so good. Give because there's going to come a time when you may not be able to give. Give so that you can support those people who are less fortunate than you and me. You should give to them. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us, whether the Prophet says, your free time before you become. We have a lot of free time when you think about it. And sometimes we take our free time and we just sit in front of the TV for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours. And really all we did was kill time. And in killing time, nothing grows. You don't grow, nothing grows. The TV is going to be there, whether it's on or off, it's going to be there. But when you have free time, you should take your time and begin to do something constructive. Pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Read the Quran, study the Quran, learn some new surahs, chapters of the Quran. Learn some hadith of our Prophet ﷺ, what he said, what he did, what he tacitly approved of. Learn those things. Do something wise with your time. And then begin to, make sure that you have enough time for a lot of things. Because remember, it's about balance. It's about balance. So it's not all about work, and no time to relax. But it's about relaxing and working. Relaxing and working. Not relaxing all the time and not doing any work. But sometimes we do so much work and we don't actually give our bodies its rights. And you know what I'm talking about. We just work, and our bodies is crying out to us for rest. We need to give it that rest. Okay? Because listen, think about it for a minute. It's going to become a time when you ain't going to have the time. You're not going to have the free time because you're going to be preoccupied with something. I remember one thing that I did, I was saying that I'm going to have a lot of time to deal with this particular thing. And then pretty much at the same time, something else came up, and then another thing came up, and I said, man, I really can't devote all the time that I wanted to this because I have all these other things to do. What about all that other time that I had when I could have devoted the time to it? So just think about that for a minute. Man, this is beautiful. The gems that came from the Prophet's mouth, Salahuddin M, to show us what we can do with our own selves. Taking charge of fire before fire. Take us down. And then the last one says, and your life before your death. What is that saying to us? Here I am, almost 70 years old. And I can say, at least for the last 40 years of my life, has really been serving humanity, would you say? So some things wasn't so great in the beginning of my time on this earth because of what I was receiving in my mind from the environment that I was in, thinking that this was okay. But when I really became responsible, a really responsible adult, I recognized that serving humanity was the best work in life. That's what I began to do, and that's what I do. So that I can say at least that when I die, I was serving humanity.
Yeah.
And not trying to get humanity so much to serve me. That I was giving. Like I heard our Imam say, you know, what the Imam lately was saying that when you die, the hope is that you'll be in a position where somebody said, well, what was he doing when he died? And they said, he looked like he was reaching for something. You know, he's reaching for something because he wants to do more work. There's so much to do. And one of the things that is very dear to me, because you can't do everything. Every imam is not good at everything. Some imams are very articulate, very charismatic. They can speak, man, they can make you cry, make you laugh. They can do all of that. But in terms of administration, they're not good. They cannot administrate. They have to have somebody else doing that. Then you have some other ones that may be a great administrator, but they can't, you know, they just are not articulate. They really can't talk, and sometimes they think they can't. They can't. Okay? The whole idea is this, that whatever you're good at, whatever you're passionate about, the hope is that you're able to do that. So I know somebody was saying, well, what are you passionate about, Salahuddin? And I was saying that I really love to help families to stay together. I really love to help the couple stay together because I recognize that really the smallest unit of the family is not so much the individual as much as it is the unit of the husband and the wife. So if the husband and the wife are having problems in the relationship, then that's the weak link of the ummah, of the community. So your community is having a problem. So when you can make those units strong, make your family strong, make the husband and the wife team strong, then your community is going to be strong. But then you can say, we died, you say, alhamdulillah, we've done some good. But I know I can't do every single thing. Another thing that I have a great desire for, a passion for, is to help those people who are incarcerated. To help them to be able to find themselves and to be able to do work, good, honorable work when they return to society. A lot has been done to work with them inside, but not enough has been done to work with them out here in society. And so as Muslims, we need to do more to help those brothers and sisters who are incarcerated come home and have something that will help them make the transition back into civil life. And so I work with some people trying to do that. Those are the two things that I'm very close to. You got to think about what you're close to. You got to think about what you're good at, and you got to do it. Do it before you die. Do it before you die, because you know what? We don't know how long we're going to be here. And the Prophet, Islam, is reported to have said, live as though you're going to be here forever, and live as though you're going to die tomorrow. Which means to me that you should work as much as you can, because you don't know when you're going to die. You know, every time we go to sleep, the angels take our soul. They don't always give them back. So some people die in their sleep. You don't know. So some people sometimes have the arrogance. They say, yeah, man, I'll be here for as long as I want to be here. Well, I'm going to be here. I don't care what nobody says. Whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. You don't know if you're going to be here. That's why the Muslims say, inshallah. That's like something that we say. I'll see you tomorrow, Naja, inshallah. I'll see you tomorrow, Akbar, inshallah. Because you don't know if you're going to even live to see the next day. These are things that we wanted to share with you today. We thought that they were important to share. The hadith that we're talking about, it deals with responsibility. It deals with wisdom, foresight, long-term planning, and good strategy. Every one of us has been blessed with these 5 blessings. There's no one amongst us who has been blessed with these 5 things, that has not been blessed with these 5 things. So how do we utilize them? And when I say no one, of course, you know we have somebody that has a problem, but what do we utilize them for? Why do we utilize them at all? The wise person is the one who strives to achieve what? The pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and then expects the best from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The wise one is one who tries to arrive at the goal and then has tawakkul in Allah. Trust in Allah. Tawakkul is trust. Trust in Allah. And it's important for us to have this trust. It does not mean, though, that you sit back and say, oh, this will happen to me. You know, I remember one of the, before they had memes, they had like caricature, what do you call it, caricature?
Caricatures.
Yeah, caricatures. There was people would draw little things, and they had this man, he was praying, and he wanted something to happen. He wanted something to happen. There was a bag that fell on his head with a shovel. You know, get up and use this here and plant some seeds and let something grow. You know, you begging or you asking for something to happen. When we pray and we say Amen at the end, it's like, so be it. It's done. It's done. And that's the kind of attitude that we should have. All right? That's the type of attitude that we should have. You strive for it. The fool is the one who follows his desires and then presumes that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward him. So your desires can sometimes become a God. Don't let your desires run your life. Be in charge of your desires. Take charge of 5 before 5. Right? Take charge of 5. It's so important. So we ask Allah. We ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us amongst those who can iktalim, those who can seize these 5 things, who can take advantage of them before the 5 will come. These 5 matters will inevitably be taken away from us and substituted by the others that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned. So we have to think about this. So brothers and sisters, take charge of 5 before 5 does something to you. Take charge of 5 before you can't anymore, right? Take advantage or take the benefit from 5 matters. What? Your youth before your old age, your health before you fall sick, your wealth before you become poor, your free time before you become busy, and your life before your death.
Wow.
وأخير الدعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين وسبحانك اللهم وبحمدك وأشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. Brothers and sisters, we thank you so much for tuning in. If there are any questions, no questions, then alhamdulillah, please remember to tune in at 1 o'clock on Fridays to Yours in Firm Faith Human Connection. We'll see you next week, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam, rahmatullahi.